Couple of days from now is the start of the Chandan Yatra. It is the most glorious Akshaya Tritiya. It is on the day of Akshaya Tritiya when Chandan Yatra, or 3 weeks or 21 days period of very lovingly smearing sandalwood pulp on the body of the Supreme Lord, this festival begins. As we know, it gets very hot in India during summertime. And to protect the deities with very loving, affectionate covering from the scorching sunlight, the devotees smear sandalwood pulp. The Chaitanya Charitamrita describes very wonderfully that Sripad Madhavendra Puri at Govardhan was inspired in his dream by Gopal. Gopal appeared in his dream and said, "Oh dear Madhavendra Puripad, I have been here in the groves of Govardhan for such a long time. I've been here generation after generation, and I have no one to serve me. I'm stuck between the thorny bushes here. I feel very, very hot. There's no one around me, and because of being completely smothered here, I feel very hot. My temperature in the body is very high. Please kindly, lovingly take me out of this place. Install me on the throne of love, and kindly introduce this practice of serving my lotus feet amidst the Brajbasis." Sripad Madhavendra Puri, very kindly, very lovingly, he followed the dictation in the dream, and he went to the place. And by the divine inspiration of Gopal, Madhavendra Puri, he got Gopal out. That Gopal, that Krishna, who pulls living beings while we are caught in the thorns of the heat and the meshes of this birth, old age, disease, death cycle in this material world. That Krishna who lifts us up, and he's called Dina Bandhu, the friend of the poor. He who's called Karuna Sindhu, the ocean of mercy. He who's called Patita Pavan, the uplifter of the fallen. He who's ultimately Jagannath, the Lord of everyone, who extends his hands down and pulls us out from the well of sense gratification. Bhakta Paya Bhujanga Garuda Mani Trailokya Rakshamani. Our Mukundamala Stotra King Kulashekara explains. Krishna, through his expansion of Vishnu, sits on the back of Garuda, and with his 4 hands, 2 hands ahead, in front of the wings of Garuda, and 2 hands behind the wings of Garuda, he dips down into this ocean of material existence. And Vishnu on the back of Garuda with his 4 arms, between the flapping of Garuda's wings, he pulls up living beings from the ocean of material existence. That Supreme Lord who lifts us up, he very lovingly gave the service of lifting him up from the meshes of the groves of Vrindavan and from being troubled by the heat of the summer. And this was given to Madhavendra Puri. Sripad Madhavendra Puri very lovingly removed Gopal from that place, installed him, had a very wonderful festival, bathed him to cool down the body temperature. He had hours and hours of bathing and gave him a big feast, installed him very wonderfully, and later there was a temple built. He gave the service of Gopal to all the Brajbasis. Gopal was very happy. But because he lived in the he lived under the groves for a long time, Gopal inspired in another dream to Madhavendra Puri that the heat of my body has still not come down. Oh dear Madhavendra Puri, can you kindly get sandalwood, chandan, and karpur, camphor? Can you bring this for me and smear on my body to cool my temperature down? Please kindly bring it from the Malayan region. So imagine if our deity told us, the deity whom we worship at home, imagine our deity told us that, oh dear worshipper, can you walk from here in Atlanta and go all the way to Los Angeles, California and get something for me? Please kindly go and get this. Now, for us to even take a flight and go to Los Angeles and get something for a deity, our personal deity, sometimes we may think, is it possible if I can just ship it by Amazon? Would that be okay, Krishna? We have a problem just to even fly and get something for our deities. But here Madhavendra Puri did not have any, he did not have any means by which he could fly, or by which he could take a car, or by which he could swim across on a ship. Madhavendra Puri decided to walk. Kaviraj Goswami very beautifully describes, Pragada preme to ei to swabhava achar. When there is pragada prem, pragada premera ei swabhava achar. This is the nature of pragada prem, deep attachment. Nija dukkha vignadi na kare vichar. That there is no consideration of how much trouble I will have to take. The only consideration is, oh Krishna, if I have to give you pleasure, so be it. Madhavendra Puri decided to walk. He gave the service of Gopal to his dear disciples and followers, and he decided to walk. He walked from Govardhan all the way to Jagannath Puri. And it is described, it was more than 1,000 kilometers. He had to walk, and there were no proper roads, so he had to make his way. And very dangerous, dacoits on the way. And Madhavendra Puri, in his ripe old age, is doing all this. Madhavendra Puri walked and walked and walked. But on his way, as he came to Remuna, he had very beautiful darshan of Gopinath. And there, as we know, this Gopinath very lovingly stole condensed milk, or kshira, which in Odia we call as kira. He stole a very wonderful pot of condensed milk behind him. We can read this very beautiful story, how Madhavendra Puri, he looked as the pujari was offering. Madhavendra Puri thought, oh, if I could just taste a bit of this, I will know how wonderfully they make for Gopinath, so I can also make for my Gopal. But immediately, Madhavendra Puri felt, I have ayachaka vritti, which means I should not desire anything. Whatever comes naturally to me, that's all that I can accept. And also, another thing is, this is not even prasad, this is bhoga. Without Krishna accepting, how can I lust on it with my eyes? Madhavendra Puri chastised himself and went to the marketplace and started chanting Hare Krishna. But that night, Gopinath came in the dream of the pujari and said, you kept 13 pots there. Did you count them back? You took only 12. One missing. Where is that? That is behind my form. As the deity, I have kept it behind. I have stolen it for Madhavendra Puri. So please wake up, take this pot of kheer and take it to the marketplace and call out for Madhavendra Puri and tell him his dear Gopinath stole it for him. When the pujari woke up, he was startled. He thought, I have been worshipping Gopinath for such a long time, but what love? Gopinath never stole for me. But here a great sadhu by the name Madhavendra Puri came, and Gopinath, in the first meeting, he stole for him. So the pujari followed the dream, took the spot, ran to the market and shouted and screamed, Gopinath has stolen this for Madhavendra Puri. Where is Madhavendra Puri? Who is Madhavendra Puri? And Madhavendra Puri, when he heard that Gopinath not just heard, but also reciprocated to his desire, he fell unconscious. But when he woke up, he took that pot of kheer, he accepted it and also broke every piece of that pot, and he would have it every day because Gopinath has touched that pot. So not just the kheer in the pot, even the pot is prasad. That Madhavendra Puri, he left immediately overnight because his fame was spreading and he did not want to be there. But what to do? Praise is called stuti in Sanskrit. And stuti is kanya, which means she never gets married. She is always unmarried. Why? Those who chase praise, name and fame, stuti, she runs away from them. Those who want her, she runs away from them. And those who don't want her, she runs close to them. So those who run towards stuti or the desire to be praised, she runs away from them. So she doesn't get married to them. And those whom she wants to come to, they don't accept her. So in this way, she always remains unmarried. Here, Stuti wanted to come to Madhavendra Puri, but Madhavendra Puri was running away. He did not want any name and fame. But what to do? Krishna had inconceivable plans. He spread the glories of Madhavendra Puri. Even before Madhavendra Puri reached Jagannath Puri, his glorious pastime with Gopinath reached the ears of the Pandavas. As Madhavendra Puri reached Jagannath Puri, he arranged through the devotees of Jagannath, and they gave him a lot of chandan, and they gave him a lot of camphor. And through devotees, Madhavendra Puri, he decided, he took darshan, and then he took all of this and decided to walk back. Now, while coming back on his way to go to Govardhan to meet Gopal, he again came through Remuna. By now, Gopinath had changed his name to Kirachora Gopinath. Our Kaviraj Goswami very beautifully describes Yasmai datum chorayan kshira bhandam. That Madhavendra Puri, for whom chorayan kshira bhandam, Gopinath stole a bhanda, which means a pot of kshira. And not just that, Gopinath kshira chora vidhabhut. Gopinath also changed his name to Kshira Chora, to that Supreme Lord. Yat premna Shri Madhavendram natosmi. Kaviraj Goswami says to that Madhavendra Puri, for whom Gopal comes in the dream and asks for excavation, and for whom Gopinath is ready to steal pot and change his name to a chor, Kshira Chor. That Madhavendra Puri I bow down to. So this Madhavendra Puri, as he was returning, Gopal again from Govardhan appeared in his dream and said, "Oh Madhavendra Puri, I'm so pleased with your service. Please don't walk back again with all of this. That Gopinath at Remuna in Balashore, he's none different from my body. So you can serve me by smearing this chandan on his body." So Madhavendra Puri very lovingly stayed through all the summer period of the Chandan Yatra that we are talking about, and he smeared chandan on the body of Kshirachora Gopinath. And there, Gopal at Govardhan, the heat of his body was coming down. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was describing all of this, he just fainted. But then when he realized that there were other devotees around, then he controlled his emotions and he continued doing kirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loved Madhavendra Puri and loves Madhavendra Puri so much that he decided to accept Madhavendra Puri as his Param Gurudev. Madhavendra Puri's disciple was Ishwara Puri, whose disciple is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.